Hello everybody, I'm sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. We had a few technical problems. In fact, we've had to have the IT electrical man here today because we had a few Zoom problems last week, but it seems like it all put itself right. So whatever the gremlin was is all gone. My name's Stephanie Waitman. It's a pleasure to have your company. We're going to be looking at Two Red Robins, a web exclusive, which is super exciting, but I've got some special news for you. So today, this collection that I've got, which is called Ready or Not, and it's 3 sets of dies. I'm going to show you the 3 sets. So this is a blossom wreath, and not only are you getting that lovely crescent that you can see there, but you're also going to get some elements of decoupage to go on top of it. And let me just show you what that looks like, because I can show you super easy how pretty that is. It's just adorable. And then the next one that I've got is this one, which is our pansy wreath. And this one again has absolutely exquisite detail, but look at those little birds. Aren't they lovely? And I was actually colouring these myself with some alcohol markers a couple of weeks ago from a different collection, trying to get this look and feel. And these are so much cleverer than the ones that I was doing. So that's our second one. That's the pansy wreath. And then the third one I've got is our beautiful fleurs. And this one is there with the poppies and those lovely butterflies. Now, you may have seen artwork similar to this in the past. This is different and complementary. But let me explain to you what this collection is all about, because of course we're going to make some beautiful cards with it. And while I'm just showing you, I'm just going to share with you some of the cards that you could be making. So this is a little story of the kind of thing that we could be doing, but look at the depth and dimension on this. Absolutely stunning, clever card making, bringing in elements from that wreath inside. This is from End of the Lane, the design, and then lots of that detail there. A massive hello to all of you who've just joined, to Christine, to Kath, to, of course, the team at Highlight Crafts, to Marilyn, Penny. Really good morning to everybody, and such a pleasure that you've joined us, because I know it's quite warm out there, so it is really good to have your company. Let me show you just a few others. So I'm going to wow, gosh, where have you all come from? I've just heard how many of you there are. That's amazing. Thank you so much. I'm just showing you some of these designs and letting you see just how beautiful they are. That is a stunning card. It's one that Kath made, and I just think it's absolutely exquisite. Now, I've got some extra special news for you, because these 3 dies together should be £69.97. But today we've brought the price down to £49.99. That saves you £19.98. If you're a Nest member, you actually get, your price comes down to £44.99. But what we're going to do today is, for everybody shopping who buys this collection, we're going to give you free Robin's Nest membership. So if you're already a Nest member, you're going to get an extra year. If you're not, we're going to give it to you for free. And it's worth £24. So join the Robin's Nest, where we're going to be bringing you more ideas, inspiration. We bring you deals, but we tell you what's going on straight away. You will get one of these packs through the post, but to get it, you do need to actually buy this collection. So you get free delivery on all orders over £25. We give you special offers. You get a little window sticker. That's my sister's favourite thing, is the window sticker. And of course, you're going to hear about all the workshops and the retreats before anybody else. So let's take a look at what you can do, because it's all about the inspiration and the education. So first of all, that's one of the designs that we've just talked about. I'm going to show you a couple more. I'm just going to have to wear this piece of card, aren't I? I should have thought much more about this. I'm sorry, I'm in my summery bright dress today. So there's another one for you with the detail, going into one of the End of the Lane designs that we've got, taking our card to a much bigger size with this one, so becoming A4. Now this could be a card, or it could actually be a picture that you hang on the wall. Then another way of using, and this is where we get clever with those foundation dies. So when you take a look at this outside frame that we've got here, this one, this is the one that allows us to do things like this, to be able to come over the edge of the cards, to allow us to be able to create our wreaths so that they are freestanding. You can see here's, this is another one. These would make the most exquisite, almost like little mini horseshoes for weddings, wouldn't they, if somebody had poppies in their wedding bouquet. I'd like to just share with you how it works as a crescent just coming off the card if you actually want to create the shape, and then look at how that's being cut out from that part of the design to give you that extra element of detail, and then taking it all the way round as a wreath, using it with acetate to create acetate cards in their own right. And all of these items and designs can be done from this collection that I'm just showing you. Another one of the background designs that you will have seen from one of the USBs. And again, that detail that we've got there. Right, now I need to tidy up because I've made a right mess. But I'm going to show you a couple of little things. And I've got some new ideas on how we can fill and create that aperture. So I'm just going to push these out of the way for a little bit. But I also wanted to mention to you a free download that's available as part of today's Facebook Live. And what it is one of our lovely design team went into this collection, which is called French Navy, and used this piece of decorative paper that's actually die cut, and it became part of a card front. Well, that's great, but if you don't have the French Navy kit, and although it is available, you're not going to be able to do what I want to show you today. So what I've done is I've had Jess make this into a background for us. I think David may have helped, and it's available as a download for you. So I'm going to be using this in my first demonstration. So very first demonstration, and it's here for you to work with. So this, oh, and there's the card. That's that lovely card that was done that used that background. You can see what a difference it makes. Just having that sort of weathered wood effect inside, it looks lovely, doesn't it? So I've taken this and I'm going to be working with my foundation dies, so my nested circles. Oh, and by the way, I'm on a mission, everybody. Every single cellar bag that comes into here, regardless of what it is going to get reused and reused until it just becomes crumpled up and with holes and things drop out. We're on a mission to try and be more environmentally friendly. So here you go. This is what our nested set of dies looks like. Now I've taken a couple of them out of here. These are the nested circles. And what I did was I took my first design that I wanted to work with, and I took the nested die and I put the circle over the top of it. And I put it over so that it was going to catch the main elements of the design and then leave me with part of it overhanging. So I wanted to be sure that at some point every element of it was going to overhang. Then I took the largest one and made sure that that was going to sit almost perfectly over the top. And the minute I did that, it gave me an idea for a card shape. So what I did was I then placed this first one down and the second one down, and I've moved them so that instead of them being directly in the middle, they're offset. So I've got that offset shape that's going to allow me to get a really good effect with what I'm doing. So I'm just going to hold those in place. I'm just going to use a little bit of tape and hold this in place. And I'm going to keep it in place for a couple of cuts. So when I've done something like this, rather than flip it over and risk some of these falling off, I slide it onto my cutting plate and then place my magnetic shim over the top like that, because it doesn't matter which way up this goes into your die cutting machine, it just goes in perfectly. Can I say, while that's just going through there, big warm welcome to you. It's a real pleasure to have your company. We've got people from Spain. Sorry, who's in? Oh, Christine's in Darlington. Who's in Spain? Lorraine. Oh, hi, Lorraine. It's good to see you. I bet your weather's lovely. Ours is boiling, boiling hot at the moment. Listen to it. It's too hot. It's not too hot. Right. What I've done now is I've lifted this off, but I need to actually turn this over. So I'm going to turn it over, lift off my cutting plate. I'm going to take out that circle just there. And I'm then going to take this one out, but I don't want to lose that circle that's already in there. So I've got to make sure that that stays in where it is, and it is. I know that it's in the right place. Then got a piece of plain white cardstock that I'm going to put over the top, and I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine. Now I know that was a little bit wasteful with the way that I did it, but I'm going to show you another little thing that I'm going to do. So this circle that we've cut out the middle isn't going to get wasted. Neither is the piece. This is the piece that we want, which is our frame. So I'll take that, and then from here we're going to take both of these. So I'm going to take all of this now, so I can, oh, got a little bit that's not cut. Oh, wow. It's not because I put double cardstock in, it's because it moved very slightly. So instead of me putting it through again and wasting the card, it is literally just a few, gosh, I've not had that happen to me for months. It is just a few little tiny threads of the paper, but I want to make sure I get that cut. Okay, so let's take the blade where it's sharp. Just come on in that bit. There you go. There. So now let's so these two pieces are going to get saved. So that's going to come off, because that can become the front of an aperture card. These two pieces are going to become my card front, and I've got them identical because I just roll that round a little bit until it ends up in exactly the right place, because I laid them on top of each other on my die cutting board. So I'm going to move those out the way. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to move that. I'm going to do 3 cards for you, all from those one cuts. Okay, so hello everybody who's just come in. Seems like the team have been in and nope, they haven't borrowed all my scissors. So I've got my scissors there and I've got my tape. Right, I can make this work. Okay, so 3 different cards from what we've got here. Okay, so the first one we're going to create a rocker. This one's relatively easy. So all that's going to happen here is this one is going to get folded in half like that. And I'm going to go into my die cuts. Now I die cut, love, love, love sitting and doing die cutting, because this for me is like therapy. So I'm just looking to see if I've got a guillotine. I haven't. Do you know what, Andrew? Can you get one of the team to bring me a guillotine? Because then it'll be quicker than me using a craft knife. So we'll get them to do that. So I'm just whizzing these round. Just going to get rid of those couple of little bits of pips there. So I'm just whizzing that round until I've got it where I want it. That's the next one, and this is going to be my aperture card. If I just take that bit of tape off there and get there. I don't think I've done one of these Facebook Lives for weeks without needing something. I'm really sorry, guys. The lovely Mel Heaton's on the case. Right, So, actually, just because quite a lot of you have just joined us, and while I'm waiting for Mel, I'm just going to tell you about the deal, because it should be £69.97 for all three of the sets. In fact, let me just show you the three sets again. Andrew's showing you, so that's really helpful. But today we've brought the price down to £49.99. If you want to, if you're a Robin's Nest member, you only pay £44.99. But today, anybody that buys this collection actually gets a year's free Robin's Nest membership. So if you're already a member, you're going to get another year. And if you're not a member, you become a member and get all the benefits of that, like free P&P over a certain amount and everything else. And also 10% off everything on the website. So if there was ever a time to buy a product and get a freebie, it's now. Okay, what I'm doing just now is I've trimmed this so that I've got my, just making sure it's lined up properly, which it is. Right, so I've trimmed off the white off the edges. I've got a couple of little pips there. Can you see those? I'm just going to take those out because they were caused when I didn't put my die through properly. Right, so I've got my apertures. I've left on this side because this is actually going to be the part of the card that we're going to use to make the card freestanding. And the wood download should be on the website. Go to Craft TV tab, click on see all related products. I think that's where it is. And it's right at the very bottom. So if you keep going all the way down, you'll get to it and it's there. It's literally just been downloaded along with the reflections and the bundle and also all the individuals. Right, so what I'm just getting is, I'm just getting something to do some scoring with. So this piece of cardstock that I've got, first of all, I need to do some scoring. And I'm going to put this bit right because it isn't perfect at the moment. And I suspect that I need to change that. Let me just try that. Like that. Okay, so thin, that one's thicker up there. Which way? I haven't got these quite right, so I'm just going to have to make it right, which is that one's that way. Somebody said to me at the weekend, oh, we do love it when you do these because you make mistakes. I was like, please trust me, it's not intentional. Right, I'm just checking it to make sure it's all okay, and it is. I don't need to make a change to it. Right, what I do need is I need a score line down this side. So I'm going to take just this piece of board. I know that that's a right angle. And I'm going to so I've got the same distance there approximately here. I'm just going to use the edge of these scissors to score. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I just want to get so that I can lift up that cardstock there. Right, now I know where that score line is, I've got to do some gluing. And I'm going to do some gluing, but I'm not going to glue all the way up to the edge. In fact, the best way of me doing this is to put some foam on. So let me take my foam all the way round the outside edge, across there and up to here, and that will work for what we need to do. Now, interestingly, just the end of last week, I cut the nozzle off my bottom. I couldn't find the lid. And so I put this pin in it over the weekend. And can you see how the pin's gone rusty? Isn't that interesting? That is actually, but it's not rubbing off because it's actually the glue. So the pin went rusty and then the glue went over it. So it actually hasn't affected my glue at all. It's really interesting the way that worked. Right, so I'm going to go back in here and line this up to get the best result I can. Not going to worry if it isn't absolutely perfect, and you'll see why in a minute. So those two edges are open. Okay, that's open. That is how we're going to make this card stand up. So look at how well that now stands up, and it's super sturdy, but also you've got somewhere to write a message. So we've created just a small card to the side. I didn't even trim the edge off that element there because I thought it didn't need it. Now, my circles aren't perfect in the middle, but we don't have to worry about that at all. So I'm going to use my pansies, and I'm going to use this one first. And the first place I'm going to snip is just here in the middle. And when I was working out what I was going to do for my Facebook Live, oh my gosh, I got so blinking excited when I worked out that this really was what I wanted to do, worked so well. So I'm just going to feed that into that gap there. So I'm holding it and feeding it in. And remember, we put it on foam, so it'll lift up a little bit. We're going to have to put some glue on there, but that's fine. We'll do that afterwards. And then I'm tucking these little pieces in, so I've got them in and holding steady as I go round inside there, like that. So that's the first part of it. Just popping you back in there. So there we go. That's the first part. Then this piece is going to go down here. And it would have been joined just at that point there. But just there, I wouldn't have been able to get it to go exactly round this circle because it's designed for lots of different sizes. So you can see how that fits. If I get another one out, I'm just going to pop this over the top. You'll see the slight difference in the shapes. So if I lay that up there, look how it's a little bit shorter. So what I've done is I've given myself my foundation to be able to work with. I'm then going to take some little fronds from these die cuts, and I'm going to use those to extend this area. So we'll go into our wet glue, and I'm just going to put a little bit just there. I'm just going to get a little bit on some of these elements. I'm just going to take that round there. Then into another one of those, and I've got lots of them. I'm going to take that piece, and I'm also going to take that piece. I'll get a little bit of glue from there, and I'm going to bring that just there, so it comes round. So it comes round over that edge. And then this piece, which you think wouldn't work because it's going in the wrong direction. So if I put it there, it's going to go out, and I want all of it going in. So I'm going to just pop this one here. Okay, and a massive thank you to everybody who's joining me because I know it's so super sunny outside. So can you see how I've managed to go? Actually, is anybody watching outside at the moment? Message me and tell me. Andrew actually works outside quite a bit when he's at home. So I've got that first part of it there. Now, the next bit of it is snipping into these elements and just choosing where you want to put them. But look at how I can make this whole bouquet look so much more by snipping them and moving them out. And again, I'm just going to snip it into here. And I'm going to snip into this one. Spend a little bit more time, everybody. It's just I've got 3 different things I want to share with you. So look at how pretty that is there. And then I've got these little bits that then I can layer up and get the dimension with. And again, I've got more of them. So I'm going to come into here and just build out that piece there. So let's layer this up. So we'll pop that piece there, and I'm going to start shaping now. So I'm going to shape out, up, round, about, getting all this lovely detail. And you can see how that's just lifted it and made it more dimensional. So to glue it, I'm just going to put a few little dots around. I'm going off the edge because anywhere where it overlaps, it'll pick up that edge, and that's going to be then the thing that holds everything in place. So I'm talking about this that holds that in place. So I'm going to go round over the edges, whoops, like this, little bits, get you tucked in there. And again, oh, I know what we can do here that would be good. So I'm going to go round that daisy. I'll take out that lovely little, almost like open crocus. Just give you some depth, shape it, give me some dimension there. And I'm just going to tuck that one in to there. So what you don't want is you don't want that next to another one the same. You want them, which is why we're snipping into them, because otherwise it doesn't look like it's a full wreath. Then this one, if I literally go round that element there, and what's everybody doing for dinner tonight? Are you eating outside? We're just, Andrew had a barbecue on his own. Would anybody else have a barbecue on their own? My dad's having an operation, literally at this moment. He's in hospital. He's having a knee replacement today. And Carl took him to the hospital at 5 o'clock this morning. And his operation, unfortunately, got pushed back a little tiny bit. But that was so that they wanted to give him a spinal block, which is what he wanted, rather than a general anaesthetic. So he's super, super happy. And so Carl took him, then got back home at about 6:30, 6:45-ish. So he was in at work super early. And then tonight, I'm going to take the lovely Carol, my dad's partner, I'm going to take her with Carl out for some supper so she's not worrying about him. And then I'm actually not going to go visit in the hospitals, which is why I left Doncaster early yesterday, because I've been at Doncaster and I've been around a lot of people. I've tested for COVID and I've been super good and sanitised and everything else, but I just don't think it's fair to go into the hospital. So if any of you have got family in hospital at the moment, I know it's really hard. And it's just so hard. I've just heard that Susan has got some sangria. Oh my gosh, how far is it and how quick could I get there? You're in Chesterfield? Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. She's got cold, homemade sangria. Just wow. So you can see this other flower's going in here. So I'm just got that piece there. I need to attach it to this. So I'm keeping all of that really well supported, because I want that support with all of the elements of the design. Make sure that's stuck. Come on, stick, super stick. Right, so I've got my wreath there. Look at that, it's just absolutely stunning. Now, I haven't put any decoupage layers on this. All I've done is move the flowers back so that I've got extra dimension. So you don't always have to do all the layers like this one. Of course, it looks luxurious, but I'm going to open it out and let you see that with a fraction of the layers, this still can look really quite stunning. So this one is now ready for me to do the next part of it, which is put our little birds in. So I'm going to put one of them just there, and he needs some foam. So to make this a little bit higher than it first appears, I'm going to put a double layer of foam on there. And I need to make sure that the foam is attached to the actual project. So like that. This one is going to sit round here. And again, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'll do my little trick, fold over my foam so I get double thickness in one go, and pop that just there. Hello to everybody. Thank you for staying with us, because it's super warm outside. And I know it would be, you've all got loads of other stuff to do. And then I've got one more little bird, and that one is just, and I've used him. I'm sure I got 3. Let me just double check that. I might be wrong, but no, I'm not. So which one have I missed? Oh, I know which one it is. Where are you? Come here. There he is. This one. No, not that one. Not that one. Not that one, not that one, not that one. You do get 3, everybody. Oh, I'm just going to go in here. That head, this one, it's this one. I have got them all. It's this one I need. And that little one's going to go up there. Okay, so I've got all 3 of them, although actually 2 looks quite nice. No, I'm going to put 3. I said 3. I said we were going to use 3, so I'm going to use the 3. So I'm just going to pop this one up a little bit higher. Mel, David and I have got a meeting just after this to talk about what we're doing for our training school that's opening in January. It's a little bit exciting. We are going to be getting giddy about it as we go on, but we've just been working out the space and the decor and everything else. I mean, it's going to take us months because it isn't open till January, but that still is really exciting. Right, now, what I need to show you with this is we want to make these birds so they don't look plonked on. And this is actually quite an important element. So I'm just going to tuck it. I'm just taking out that little flower that I've got there. And I want to make sure that the flower doesn't look like it's just been stuck on. So I'm trimming it with the areas that I think it's going to need. So actually, I am just going to take it right back to that petal. And I'm going to take the petal, just a little bit of glue at the bottom, and I'm going to stick that flower so that it looks like it's just over the bird's body. So he looks like he's nestled in the actual wreath. That's the effect that we're looking for. This one, I'm going to bring just here and make this one look like it's nestled. So you can see we've got that little bit of dimension. So I'm just going to pop that just there. And because this is perfect for a sentiment, we are going to be bringing out some sentiment packs for you because I've had more and more people ask for them. But I want to show you what that first card looks like. So remember, you've got the depth there. You've got somewhere to write. We've used our A4 sheets. It is from the free download. Andrew will get us a shot from the front, which you can see. And the next thing that I would do in here would be I would hang some of those beautiful butterflies that are in this collection, and I would hang those on some invisible thread or a piece of construction acetate. Now, I've got construction acetate here, and I saw it there it is. I saw it a minute ago. So I'm just going to take it, and I'm just going to take this piece, and I'm going to get a relatively small piece. So I'm going to snip into it all the way up there. So anybody that's just joined us, got a couple of bits of news for you. So it's going to go across the whole of the front. So literally from the top to bottom. Oh, Penny, well done. She's just, Penny's just bought the kit and just got her additional membership. So that means you've got an extra year, Penny. If you're already a Robin's Nester, you've just added on an extra year. So well done, because that means you get your free postage over a certain price, and you get 10% off everything. So also we got another pin badge that's just being designed. So we're just designing it at the moment. But the other thing is, you will, when we come to do all our retreats and training, you'll also get discounts on those Robin's Nesters. So for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, if you buy the collection today, it should be $69.97, but it's $49.99. You get free Robin's Nest membership, which actually is normally £24, and you'll get that free. And then you'll also, anybody who's already got Robin's Nest membership, you're going to get another year. So, I mean, that's just like quite exciting. Right, so what I need to do now is I want to build this up. So I've got this piece of acetate in the middle, And I'm just going to attach it at the bottom because it isn't currently attached. So I'm going to go across there, so that's it sturdy in the middle. Now I've got to take those two bits that I've just cut, and this one is going to come up here. So we've got this design coming round, and then we're just bringing up that pansy up this main panel. So a little tiny bit of foam just there, then that one's empty. And I'll put a tiny bit just there, and use glue gel if you've got that at home, or you use your, maybe you might have just, what do we call it? Silicone glue. So there's the detail. So that's now coming down there. Then I need one more piece, which I also cut ready. Where have you gone? Might need to cut you again. There it is. That piece is going to sit just there, and I can see that I've got a little bit of foam there that I needed to make sure it was covered. That won't tuck under, so I'm going to trim it across. That will tuck round, so to get some depth to it. And we've got some hello to Catherine, who's in her craft room. She's got the fan on, I'm not surprised. It is just super boiling, isn't it, guys? And then I'm just going to take these little daisies out. Now, this is interesting what I'm doing here, because I've left those two little petals on there. And you'd think, oh, that's going to look a bit weird when she does this. But I'm going to tuck that under so it looks like the petals are just coming from a flower that's already there. So I just need to lift that a tiny bit to be able to tuck it under there, and then that's going to come just angle down. So I'll get a bit of glue there, that'll hold that for us. Shape that round, try not to snip it like I have. Unfortunately, I've got a little snip there, but I don't think it matters too much. So we've got that shaped. So that's just there. And then the last thing I need to do is use this acetate for these butterflies. But I want this one to look like it's just free. So it's literally in the open space of the card. So let's take another look at it now. And you can see how we've got the butterfly flying in the open space. So if I just put a piece of card behind here so you can see it. So there you go. So the butterfly is in the open space. We've put our wreath round and up. Oh, I'm seeing one thing I don't like. Up here, I've got a gap. I need to do something about that. It doesn't look balanced. So let me come back into here. And do you know what it needed? It needs this one flower here, and it's quite a large one, but it is what it's going to take. And I'm just taking out those extra elements. And if you get a petal that isn't a proper petal, then shape it until it is. So I'm going to go there, and then I'm going to come round and just shape that. Get a little bit of glue on here. Let's tuck that under there. That's better, much better. And I chose this one for that little flower that we've got there because it's given us dimension. I'm going to take my butterfly and I'm just going to add a second one directly on top of it so that you get the detail that we've got here. And that now I'm happy with. So there's my frame. I've used the apertures that I cut. I've now got to get a shift on because I've got to show you two more cards. Okay, so that's the first one. I'm going to pop that to one side. Now we know how we build our designs up. This is the second one that I'm going to use. I'm actually keeping it so that it's like this. I'll come on to my second lot of flowers. So remember, you get all three of these, everybody. And this is the next one. So fits just inside there. But look at how balanced this looks, because I've got it goes to nothing at the top. I've got the weight of it at the bottom, and then this goes to nothing just there. So the way that I would do this one is, again, on the outside edge, go around the detail that I've got here, put this one like that. So I'm just checking each side and the balance of the design. I'm now going to lift that up while that's gluing, come back, and I'm going to put a second one on here directly over the top. So this one is going to go over the top of here. So I've got to line that up, but this is going to make it really sturdy and strong. So just line those elements up, get them as good as you can. So that's that. Look how much sturdier it is now. So that's my wreath that I've got there. This is the back panel of the wreath, and I'm just going to attach this across the top. So I've just got to get it in the right place. And there we've got that. Oh, Maggie's having a hair done. Do you know what? I am desperate for a haircut. If anybody wants to recommend a hairdresser that's near Clay Cross or North Wingfield, I would love you to bits. So Dawn Wheeler's been doing it for me forever, but I can't do that. She's super busy at the moment. That's not fair to her to ask her to do that. So I'm just checking it all lines up properly, which pretty much we've got it where we need it to be. Not quite, but just about. And we've then created our card, and it will rock. If you don't want it to rock, all we do is go level with this part and just trim straight across the back there. That stops it immediately. And then only the back, because I did the front last time, front and back. You don't need to. I'm just going to put the butterfly just there. This is why you need all 3 sets of this collection, because it just is so fabulous. And then I've got a couple of little birds that I want, and it's that one I need and this one. So I'm going to put that one. Where am I going to put you? No, I'm not. I'm going to have this one. So this one is going to go down here. So although this is from a different collection, it still suits the design. So it's going to go, whoops, just there. And I'm just going to see if I need this one. Do I want the other one? No. So there you go. I know you all, you've all got loads of flowers. Christine, you just mentioned it. But, the seasons change. And then we decide we just need something else. Now, if you needed to do a really quick card, it doesn't get much quicker than that. And it is so pretty and easy and quick to do that you've got a design there that looks pretty. Right, now I've got the last one that I want to do, which is this one. And this is going to be my poppy rocker. So I'm going to take the whole of this poppy design that I've got here. And I'm going to cut and put 2 of these on top of each other. So, but to be super frugal, I'm going to take my die cuts, which where are they? Where are you? Somewhere. Right, move that. And I need that. And I need that. And I need that. It's not that one. Yes, it is. Yeah, there. I'm just going to lay that up. Right, so I just need to cut this out of white card. And I don't need the whole of the design. It's this piece at the top that I need. So I'm just going to make sure it is that bit. Yes, it is that piece. So I'm just going to put the cardstock over that piece that I've got there. Oops, moved. And run that through my die cutting machine. And you'll see why this is going to be enough for what we need. So I'm going to show you a way of attaching. I hope I've just cut a big enough amount of it. I think I have. So we'll see. Oh, summertime tonight. I think a nice gin and tonic would be absolutely yummy. Andrew had his first ever Pimm's. Pimm's is actually a really nice drink. Traditionally, it's a bit of a Wimbledon drink, you know. But it tastes like pop, doesn't it? It literally does taste of pop. I'm just poking out these little bits because I've got a couple of... And fruit in it means it's one of your 5 a day. So, yep, that's right, Andrew, it is. It's a bit naughty saying it like that. Right, I'm going to have to do this one slightly differently because I've just cut it for this side, not the other, even though I checked it. But that's fine. Right, so what I've got here is I've got 2 pieces that so I've cut this piece and I've cut this piece. First thing that you need to do is check where that cut's going to come, and it's absolutely in the perfect position. So I'm going to take this design and I'm going to put my wet glue over the edge of where the poppy is, all the way around here and round this edge, filling in, catching the detail and the delicate elements. So all of that. Now I need to make sure that that poppy is part of there, which it is. So that's in a good place. Now you turn it over, and what we do now is we put our white glue again on here. Try and catch all the little bits if you can, because this is what's going to strengthen the design. And then you lay this over the top like that. Super neat, but it's now reinforced this top edge, so it makes sure that everything that you've got, there's a little bit of paper, everything that you've got there is all together and super strong and reinforced. So I'm just going to line this up a little bit better, get the glue off my fingers. Now we've got one of you, which Julie, hi. Do you know what? I'm going to take your comment because I think you're absolutely right, and I'm going to go to Jess straight after this, and I'm going to be saying to her, you know what I said to you this morning about the web exclusives and how our customers are disappointed that we haven't done them for them. I'm going to actually, as SVG files, I'm going to show me your message, because I had that very same conversation this morning about making sure that Christmas was done quickly, because it's in work, but it's just taking a while. And then also that you get all your web exclusives, because you're absolutely 100% right. And you just gave me the ammunition I need to go and have a look, because they actually think I'm a bit of a moaner. Do you know they do? The team, the girls here, I mean, especially the youngsters, you know, they all think, and actually Andrew too, they think we're dinosaurs. You know, we don't know anything about TikTok, whatever that is. We don't know very much about, well, we don't know much about anything. Andrew's quite techie. He's, of course, for those of you that don't know, he's our amazing producer-director who does absolutely everything for all of these shows, which we need him to, because me on my own would be an absolute disaster. Oh, I can give you another little bit of news as well. The lovely Nancy Watt is going to be coming over to our studios once a month, and we are going to be doing some special Facebook Lives just for you guys. So I'm actually quite looking forward to that, because I do miss her. So we might just do an evening session, one session, where it's just me, Nancy, you, and a gin. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Can you imagine the fun that would be? Right, so what I'm doing now is I'm just catching the middle of that flower, but but I'm lifting it, so I'm getting some dimension from it. But I've caught the little buds, and we get the detail there. And so I want to say thank you to everybody who came to Doncaster as well, because I was really nervous about that show. We didn't get it back until about March properly, and to be able to do everything that we needed to do in the time was quite a challenge, but we did manage it. And I think the results that we got were really good, and generally people were really happy. So thank you for everybody that came. So now I'm snipping into these, everyone, and I'm just taking the larger flowers, especially around this side. So what I've got to also think about, and I want you to think about this when you're doing it, is balancing the design, because if I get too much weight over here, it won't rock. It'll literally just rock to that side. But what I can do is, of course, I can snip the back. Doesn't help with my rock and movement, but it does help with the balance of it if need be. But I'm going to show you again another little trick that we can do for that. So just getting some extra flowers in here. So let's see where these are going to go. So that one I'm going to bring down so it's a little bit lower. So I'm thinking again about the balance. And for anybody who's just joining us, I mean, thank you, first of all. Thanks for your company. Thanks for coming to Doncaster. Robin Nesters, we've not forgotten about you, because if you buy this kit, you get another year's free membership. But of course, anybody who is buying for the first time, we're going to give you free Robin's Nest membership, which is normally £24. So that's like getting £24 off this. So that's almost like paying, what, $25.99 for the whole kit? I mean, that's like super crazy. Look at how pretty that's starting to come together. Now I need to fill in this part of the design. So I want some daisies for this. So I'm going to snip into there and take that first daisy. And that one is going to go here. And you can see how different they look when you turn them round. So don't think that you've always got to keep the flower going in the same orientation. Turn it round, get an extra little bit of dimension from it, and it really gives you something a bit more special. This one, I'm snipping into just there, all the way round. I'm going to go round this outside edge just there, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to tuck that into that part of the design. So, and in fact, I need that daisy out because the orientation will be wrong. So that one comes out, and that daisy is going to go just here, like that. Looks better already. This poppy, I'm going to make it go so it's off the edge. I've got a little bit of depth just there. I'm going to get another one of my little cornflowers and get some dimension just here. Just use those little pips. Really, try and get the pips in the right place for you so that you can get, you can snip in easily. But that's just a tiny bit of extra dimension, and it's already made quite a bit of difference to the design. So now I'm thinking about how that's going to rock and the weight of it. So see what I mean? It's going over to one side. So there's a couple of things that I can do. I'm going to decoupage up this little bird because that's going to add some weight over to this side. So let's do that. We'll take off the back of his tail feathers. Just there, his little paws. Don't want to take away too much because I need the weight of him. So pop him there, like that. So make sure he doesn't have two beaks. Let's get a better idea now of the weight of it. Still very weighted on one side. So then you can add a penny, or you can take the white circle. I chopped it up, didn't I? Oh, you take a white circle of cardstock, and I'm going to have to describe it to you because I've cocked it up a bit, haven't I? So you take, so, oh, I know what I can do. I can do it with this. I can do it with this. Let me see if I can do it with this. So that bit went up there. Right, basically what you do is you take this bit of white here. Now, it's not neat because I've cut into it, but you get a white circle and you get so that you've got just the right amount to go about halfway. And actually, do you know what? I'm going to do it right because I want you to see this because it's quite clever. So I need that small circle and I need to just cut one of them out. So I've got two at the moment. Let me cut one out there. Right, cut that. That's going to go there. How long have I got, Andrew? Right, I want to make sure. I'm going to be a bit more than 2 minutes, guys. I'm sorry. It's just going to take me about 3.5. So, right, what you do, you cut out the circle that's the same size as this that I've gone there. Okay. That is going to stick on there, so it's all neat and tidy, like that. So, but before we do that, I need to cut along this score line, like that, here. I think Andrew's thinking it's not going to work. I'm thinking it might not work too, but I'm hoping it will. Right, and that bit is going to fold back to there. That bit's going to fold down to there. And that is going to balance. Oh, not quite, nearly. Oh, I don't want to not glue it. Just see if it's going to be that bit. Right, I need to get that glued there. And I need to get this in there glued, like that. Stick you there. Don't know whether I've got it quite in exactly the right place because, come on, rock, don't rock that way. No, I'm not rocking. I'm just says, am I rocking it in the wrong bit? No, that's how it's meant to rock, but it's sticking too much. Right, I've got to, I only need half a rocker. He says, you've only got half a rocker. I have only got half a rocker because I want this to actually balance the weight of this. So I am going to have to put a penny on there. There's no other way of doing it. What have I got? A button or a penny? A button, a penny, a gem, a pen lid. Oh, don't have pennies anymore, do we? I know, what is a penny? It's something that weighs a tiny little bit. I'm going to put, oh, let's just stick another bit of card on. Basically, what you need to do is you need to increase the weight on this side just enough. Oh, it's nearly there. Can you see how I'm so close? I'm just going to go a bit more. Oh, it's really, really close. So I know what I'll do to make this super neat. Open that up, put that inside there, or put your penny inside there, and that should then rock. Whoops. There, I told you it would rock. It rocks. But then you've got somewhere to write as well. So you've got somewhere, but please do it neater than this because that's rubbish at the back. Oh my gosh, I think I've just glued my face. Oh dear, never mind. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll give you a quick reminder of what we've got for you. So remember you've got 4, well, there you can see them. The blossom, the pansy and our fleur. All of those together. Super beautiful designs. and it should altogether be $69.97, but today nothing like that, down to $49.99 if you're not a nester, and you're going to get free Nest membership for a year. And if you are a nester, you're paying just $44.99 and you're still getting another year's free membership. Okay, everybody, let's just have another little look at what we've got. I've lost one. There it is. So one where we go off center, so we create our design, not just using a perfect aperture, but something off center. One where we go and we build up the crescent and we tuck the crescent in between, and this was the other reason I wanted to share this, in between those two pages, because look how neat it is around the outside edge. I'm just put my fingers here because it's not quite so neat as there. And then making your rocker so that it does stay and will rock. There. Thank you so much. I'm going to be back at 5 o'clock with 3 more completely new ideas. I'm hoping you'll have already got your collection so I can just inspire you with what to do when it arrives. Have a lovely afternoon, everybody. Get that sunscreen on and think about me if you've got a Pims, because I'd just love one. Maybe even an ice cream would be nice. Take care. See you soon.